Just a few days before Kraven the Hunter officially released in theaters, Sony made the big announcement that the Sony Spider-Man universe is effectively over, that they're done. After the failures of Madam Web and of Morbius and the upcoming Kraven the Hunter movie that looked like it was going to flop too, they said, hey, you know what? We're done. We're focusing on other things now. And it may have been way past time where they should have stopped this because, quite honestly, having all these Spider-Man villains that aren't actually acting as villains and instead are presented as anti-heroes hasn't been very financially successful for them outside of the Venom movies. And when as soon as the embargo lifted for Kraven the Hunter, it started to get absolutely annihilated. And then we saw the box office predictions. We're talking about Madam Web levels of flop here. And in fact, I guess we need to recalibrate that because now Kraven has had a far worse opening than Madam Web. Box office, Kraven the Hunter bombs with $11 million opening. Moana 2 crosses $700 million globally. Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim also fell on its sword as Moana and Wicked, which cleared $500 million worldwide, saved the weekend. Yes, $11 million in the opening weekend for Kraven the Hunter. Internationally, certainly didn't help things out very much either. Internationally, only made $15 million, so a $26 million worldwide opening. Keep in mind, Madam Web made just over $100 million. Its opening weekend, we can go to box office, check out its opening weekend, and you can see right here, its opening weekend it made 15.3. So this is a significant drop-off, even from a failure like Madam Web. And, you know, Kraven the Hunter cost more than Madam Web did. You look at some of these last couple coming out for the Sony Spider-Man universe. Morbius opened at $39 million. Madam Web opened to $15 million. Kraven the Hunter at $11 million. And shockingly, somehow, some way, like some of the people that do this at Sony must be so fucking retarded because they even made a big statement about, you know, we always could have had Spider-Man appear in these, but we just didn't think that people would accept him outside of the MCU. Well, guess what people aren't fucking interested in? Spider-Man villains who aren't actually villains, and there's no fucking hero in the story. They're anti-heroes. So you're changing them. You're changing who people know them as because you don't want to put Spider-Man in this universe that you're building off of Spider-Man's name in the villains associated with Spider-Man. It is so stupid. And Kraven the Hunter, I watched it. I would honestly rather watch Madam Web again than Kraven the Hunter. I think they're both similar on levels of they're kind of bad movies. That are just bad, like the editing, the pacing is crazy. You can tell clearly they cut a bunch of things apart, pasted them back together. A lot of ADR dialogue in places where you can tell they just did a voiceover to somehow, some way make this make sense. And the characters are just not compelling in any way. And I would rather watch Madam Web because at least that is like bad in a fucking funny way. This is just kind of a slog. And it really represents this entire Sony Spider-Man universe experiment outside of the success of the Venom movie. Everything else that they've done has just failed miserably. And Kraven might end up being the worst of them all. It certainly doesn't help things when you tell people, hey, we're done with this universe right before you're putting out this movie. But with the current competition, the box office, I don't think Kraven stood any chance, period. And it's a fitting end to this Sony Spider-Man universe that is full of terrible fucking movies. Kraven being the last and final one, hopefully, because we certainly don't need any more movies like this.